I like fake tan. Hello and welcome back to How to Hen. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the comeback of the DIY hen weekend. So obviously everything that's been going on with this pandemic and coronavirus means that a lot of people have had their hen weekends cancelled or delayed because they're not able to travel. Going abroad for your hen party, which by the way is just bachelorette party, is a huge thing, and it's been a trend that's been increasing over the years. But obviously with flights and travel being really not an option for so many at the moment, people are having to rethink what they're going to do for their hen weekend. Now, some girls have been saying they've just cancelled it altogether, and if you feel strongly enough about traveling that you want to just cancel the whole thing, then that's obviously totally fine. However, I think what this is going to mean is that the home hen, and by home I don't mean, you know, in your house, I just mean locally or within your country at least, not getting on a plane. These local hens are going to be on the rise again because people aren't able to travel. And I actually think this is kind of a good thing. I'm a big fan of the local hen and doing more DIY. I think the rise of traveling for hen parties is obviously great. People can go further and do more things, but what it has led to is trips get more and more elaborate and more expensive, and they start to focus so much on one-upmanship and who went the most places, who went the furthest distance, who spent the most money, what crazy activities did you do? That's not what it's about. A hen weekend should be about a bride and her best crew just bonding together and celebrating the fact that she's about to get married. That's it, when you get right down to it, really. So I just wanted to talk to you about some of the benefits of having one of these more DIY local hen weekends. So the first thing is that it reduces costs. If you're not having to get on a plane and go somewhere, the cost per person is reduced dramatically. You know, I think some people are familiar with that feeling that when you get invited to a bachelorette that is abroad somewhere or where you need to get on a flight, there's that feeling of, can I really afford this? Or maybe it's like your 6th one that year and you want to go, you want to support your friend, but you just can't afford it right now. So taking away that element of it really saves costs, and it sometimes means that more people that you want to be there can be there. If it's not about budget and everyone would have been happy to pay for a flight and they just can't, what you can do is take some of that money, not the full cost of a flight per person, but use some of that money to really make the event itself at the venue local to you special. Like, you can really put that money, redirect it into saying, okay, how are we going to turn this place into something incredible for her? Another benefit is that it allows you to really focus on the details of the weekend and not get too carried away with, we could do this activity, we could do this activity, you know, what if we do a cocktail class, a yoga session, a dance routine, all go and get our hair done, and then immediately after that we're going to go and learn to paint. Like, it starts to get just about a list of bam, 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 here's all the stuff that we're going to do. Take a breather. Since you're not going away and using a company and doing all that stuff, you can take a minute to really think about the bride and think, okay, what can we do that is special to her, bespoke to this particular individual person? You know, does she have a favourite book that you could maybe decorate the walls of the bedroom in the venue with? You know, not the real pages, obviously. Please don't go in and rip out the pages of her favourite book. Or you could print out those pages and make them into confetti with a little staff, so that when you throw confetti, she's not going to notice at first, but at some point over the weekend, she's going to look at the words on the confetti and go, is this that book that I like? And when she realizes, she's going to be like, oh my god, these people really paid attention to every single bit. You know, you as an organizer can take the time to really interlace particular details into the weekend that you probably wouldn't do if you were going abroad, because you wouldn't have the time or the resources to go and do it in a place that you've never been before and that you can't get access to. If you can, get to the venue before the weekend and have a look around even before you book it, and that way you can really see any visions that you have come to life. You know how many rooms you've got and what the layout is like, so you think, okay, if we do like a relay race of different bachelorette games all together, we could go from this room to this room to this room, because you know that it makes sense and that it's easy for people to get from one room to the other. Makes your life as a planner much easier when you can do that ahead of time. Another benefit, like I said, is that you really can make it unique. You really can say, okay, this bride is obsessed with The Little Mermaid. Maybe what you would have done if you were traveling abroad is say, oh, well, I'm just going to download some props that are kind of like mermaid themed and we'll take them with us. But now, if you're just going to get a local apartment, you could turn the whole thing into like an underwater palace. There's some really great stuff on How to Hen to do with this on the mermaid theme, where you can hang like just generic plastic tablecloths props that you can get from sort of any party store, if you're able to pin them on the ceiling underneath a light, not one that's going to burn a hole in it and burn the place down, you just cut out a cardboard sea turtle or crab or whatever, and you put it on top, and it looks like you're really under the water with the silhouettes of these creatures above you, and that is so cool. And if she's really into like mermaids and the sea and everything, when she arrives at the place and she sees that, the impact that that will have on her is so much more than flying somewhere and then just having a couple of like mermaid props. There's nothing wrong with that, but you really can make it super unique for her, which I honestly am so passionate about this. It's such a big part of my brand's value, is that every single bride should have a really unique experience, and that her bachelorette shouldn't be repeated anywhere, because one size fits all is kind of like one size fits no one. A bit like when you buy a one size fits all bit of clothes. Tailor it, make it special for her, and then she'll forget all about the fact that you can get on a plane and go somewhere. The last benefit that it has that I think people don't think about is that it reduces what I call emergency anxiety. So this covers a couple of things. If you're going to a hen party, right? If it is you and all your best friends and you know the bride and everything is peachy keen and you're excited, great, you probably don't suffer from this very much. But maybe let's say you are not that close with anyone else going. You know the bride and you're happy to go and support her, but you're maybe a bit anxious about going and sort of mingling with all these people. If you know that you are only a 2-hour drive away or a 15-minute drive away or whatever from your house and your safety, you're much more likely to say, okay, yeah, I'll go, why not? If it involved getting on a plane and spending 3 days, 5 days, 7 days with a whole group of people that you've never met before, the likelihood is anxiety is going to creep in a little bit, and you're going to say, no, actually, I'll just catch up with the bride like another time. Which is a shame, because obviously you want to be there to support her and she wants you to be there. So having it close by, within a couple of hours driving maybe, reduces that, and it means that more people who she wants to be there maybe feel that they can be there. Also, the reason I use emergency anxiety is for people who maybe aren't, anxious about going because they don't know anyone, but maybe they are parents, maybe they have relatives who are not all that well, maybe they could be called into work in case of an emergency because of the nature of their job. Sometimes people traveling to things will get really anxious because they think, if I'm needed, I'm so far away and I can't get to you. So having a local hen really reduces that, because again, you're only a couple of hours drive away if anything dramatic happens and you need to get back for whatever reason. Okay, so those are sort of some of the benefits that I think come from keeping it local, keeping it DIY, and you sort of, not you the bride, if you're the bride, you don't plan it unless you really, really want to. Obviously, it's your choice, but I think it should be maid of honor, bridesmaids, whoever the organizer. So if you are that organizer, for you to make it super special for her and turn it into something amazing is so easy to do if you make it close to home and you don't have all the stresses of booking loads of like mad activities and organizing flights and the whole thing. Just gets rid of all that. Now, if you're thinking, easy, no, I don't know how to organize things. I'm not a DIY person. I don't know how to decorate and turn the place into like an underwater palace or like a Game of Thrones, turn the living room into King's Landing. Not to panic, this is where I come in. So my website is www.howtohen.com, in case you didn't know already. And what I've done is made a sort of portal where you log in. It's a one-time fee to log in and become a sort of member. And then once you're in, you get 6 months access to this huge database of ideas, inspiration, how to decorate by theme and by type of bride, what food you should serve, what music you should play, how you can really get into those details and make it something special. Hundreds of games that you can play when you're inside your apartment, Airbnb, venue, whatever. And really, because it's my thing, because I love to make it special, there are loads of options on the site for speaking to me as well and working together to make something amazing. I also do custom stationery and a whole load of other stuff. So please, if you haven't been to have a look, go and have a look around the site, www.howtohen.com. And if you have any questions about how I can help you make something like this a reality, then please just reach out to me. I genuinely love to hear from people, love to help people. Drop me a message. My information is in the description box below, and I'm always happy to get DMs on Instagram or Facebook or whatever with questions. So do not hesitate to reach out to me, okay? If you were planning a hen that had to be cancelled or delayed because of flights. I hope that this has made you feel a little bit better. Obviously, it goes without saying that all of these recommendations that I'm talking about goes along with the guidance that you are being given by whoever your local authority is. If they are saying that you cannot gather in groups, then please don't say, oh well, you know, Sherrie told me just to do a local hen in an Airbnb. No, if social distancing is still in place where you are, the rules are changing all over the world, and you don't want to gather any group of people together, then of course do not do that and wait until a time that it's appropriate. Even if it's not part of the guidelines, please check with the people who are invited how they would feel about it, because yes, it's not about personal feelings, it's obviously 100% about safety. But if the guidelines in your state are that, okay, maybe you can have a group of 10 gather in one place, then it's about speaking to the guests and figuring out, okay, would you feel comfortable coming with a group of 10? Is it maybe asking that group of 10 to self-isolate for 14 days before, if they're able to do that? Or maybe it's only a group of 5. You know, really this is on you guys to figure out. And rule number 1 is, of course, as always, stay safe. And on that note, I'm going to leave you. If you would like to hear any more about hen party planning, guides and information, crafting with cocktails, where I make some of the decoration that is super simple and super easy because I only have what's available to me here. You can see my crafting with cocktails series. I also do reaction videos and a whole bunch of other stuff, so you can hit subscribe and the little bell because I only post once a week and you won't get spam. Alright, in the meantime, happy henning guys. Love you, bye!